Hello, everybody. This is episode 21 of Script Owners. And today we're going to cover a little bit of a different video. We're going to cover a video by the man. Should have really had the window up.
Center row.
Yeah, Center. Essentially, this video it says the problem with prequels, but it's a lot more. It's it's a lot less subtle than that in the actual execution of the video. This guy, I can already guarantee you, is not going to be nearly as bad as any of the other people we have covered. However, against the wishes of some of the, I guess, staff here, I decided to that we were going to cover this one because it has some pretty poor argumentation, and yeah, this one actually has a chance of tricking people who have a brain into thinking wrong things. So, I mean, incorrect things, let's just say. Yeah. Let us charge on into the breach, fellas.
All right.
Man, please do not engage in wrong things.
Johnny, we need more viewers.
I forgot I have to establish who is here. All right, we have Yeet Kaiser Yeet Kaiser.
What's up?
Same guy as before. He's the guy that laughs too long.
How are you doing?
Fuck up.
I laugh better
You're
than
one to talk.
we have Lavian Prime, good old fella. He's been on every 3 podcasts. I think he's been on something like that.
Yeah, just barely.
Like 6 or 7.
Yeah, something like that. All right. So you guys know about him. Then we have a pretty interesting guy here. We have the Stupidity Slayer, also known as the Good General. Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't say hi.
Anyway, the point
hi.
is, I've seen this guy in the Anomalies Discord for a long time. He's a pretty good fella, and I'm sure his insight will be pretty good too. Maybe
Well,
Can I ask the live chat something?
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the bloopers?
No.
Of course.
Yeah.
No,
Please.
I'm talking to the live chat.
That's not relevant.
All right. If it's something you're gonna change the subject to one of the fucking bloopers, I'm gonna kick you off from the voice chat. Okay?
You want to be a lieutenant, Lavian?
You kick me out, you're gonna ruin the entire stream. So don't.
Because you're being all alpha male right now.
Well, I just want to just to finish this video fast.
All right. Let's let us.
I really don't want to become this. I don't want to turn this podcast into the new EFAP.
That was never the plan anyway. EFAP, they jibber jabber about random bullshit. We just fuck around too long. Let's.
Yeah,
Is that the same
thing? Basically the same thing.
It's not the same thing because Rag starts to talk about his life and how he's totally relatable, and we could totally use his stupid fucking bullshit as something interesting. And then Waller is just like, all right, well, let's actually cover the video instead of being retarded for 10 hours.
It's not even what he sounds like. All right, let's cover the video.
The Rise of Skywalker is good.
If you don't even know who Waller is, then I could just make him sound like this complete British twat.
Oh my god. Kaiser, that was
Of course you can't.
What
The Rise of Skywalker
is good?
What a nice picture.
Okay. I said this before, but really, why the hell Bumblebee is in this? It's not a prequel; it's a reboot.
Yeah, let's see here. Star Wars prequels, Rogue One, Solo, Fantastic Beasts movies, Hobbit trilogy, Bumblebee, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, X-Men First Class, Monsters U, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant, Better Call Saul, Minions, Captain Marvel, Gotham, probably a few more I forgot to mention here. That being said, these are prequels, so most of the spoilers are already spoiled by the original movies they were based on. Still, you have been warned.
Gotham is not a prequel. Last I checked, it's some kind of TV series like Smallville, where it's kind of on the beginning of the main superhero and its villains.
It's like a pseudo prequel. Like it's
Yeah, it's a pseudo prequel. Like,
All right, then. Let's move forward.
Right. Okay. Anyway,
I really appreciate him
The
shitting
year
on...
was 1999, and mobs were crowded around.
who's echoing?
that's not me.
Ben. Oh, thank God, he's gone.
Shapiro was disappeared.
Their
Somebody,
local multiplayer.
somebody tell him we'll let him on.
Oh.
It's not him. It's not him.
Does somebody?
All right.
It's
Does
somebody
everybody
else.
use noise suppression on
Why
this?
does this happen every single time?
I have
Use noise
headphones.
suppression.
Alright, I don't have. I'm good. Who is it?
Use noise suppression, yes.
Multiplexes eagerly awaiting to be let in to see quite possibly the
Oh,
Use your next word carefully.
It's either Kaiser or Ben Shapiro.
It's not me. I have
It's
noise
not
suppression.
me.
I think it could be me. I don't know.
I have headphones on.
Fix
Hold on,
it.
let's actually go over this.
Oh,
Local
God
cancellation.
damn it!
Oh, what the fuck?
Screwing up mashed potatoes.
All right, stop it.
Oh
All
my
of you.
God! Fucking Blinken just came through. Blinken insulted us third hand. How the fuck is that possible? He insulted us third
What the
fucking
fuck?
hand. No, the fuck.
Guys, we're not E EFAP.
Yeah, we're not even. Go, go, go!
The year was 19.
Who's echoing? Who's doing it?
It's Kaiser, I think.
It's not me.
Is it me?
1999,
Play it
and
again.
mobs were crowded around.
Kaiser, it's you.
It is
Yeah,
not me.
it's
Multiplexes
It's
early
Kaiser.
awaiting to be
Kaiser.
let in to see quite
It is not
possibly
me.
the most anticipated film ever made.
Wait, hold
That
on.
film was Star Wars.
It's definitely you, Kaiser.
Yeah,
It's
Kaiser.
Kaiser.
It's
All
you.
right, I stopped it. I stopped the
Fix it.
thing. So let me go ahead and actually get on my phone this time. I'll catch up to you guys. I'll catch up to you
The
guys. Don't worry
year
about it.
was 1999, and mobs were crowded around their local multiplexes, eagerly awaiting to be let in to see quite possibly the most anticipated film ever made. That film was Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. That night, the film was met with excitement, but in the preceding weeks, months, and years, the film's reputation soured, many regarding the film as the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
I don't think that's true, actually.
Oh, okay, let's go
Yeah.
check the reviews from back
All right.
then.
All right. Really.
Okay.
Okay, let me say something.
I will say that Phantom Menace did get nominated for some Razzie Awards.
Yeah,
Okay.
because those people are stupid.
Okay. The main problem with this video is that it's not even old. It's only just a day old. It's just it bitches about prequels when already the worst Star Wars movie ever came out. The Last Jedi.
2017.
Yeah.
The worst
Before
Star
that,
Wars movie
before-
came out literally 8 months ago. It came out literally 8 fucking months ago. So I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
Oh, only
With
right
prequels.
now at this very moment are people reconsidering. No, people have been considering the sequels to be worse than the prequels since 2017, and even a few back in 2015. This is
Yeah,
old
I'll-
news, man. This is not like, oh, the prequels were the worst thing forever until now.
Well, I mean,
The prequels
let's
were the worst thing for like a stretch of 5 years, like from like 2007 2012.
let's be clear. There are a lot of OT purists that thought that the prequels were the worst thing since 1999, right?
yeah,
and
for
they've
sure.
been speaking like this for 2 decades. So
And they
Yeah.
probably still
Anyway.
think it. People like Cosmonaut.
oh yeah, well, I mean, he's an absolute moron. So anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on with this.
Well, hold up. I thought the good general's looking up for reviews at the time. Hello?
Okay.
I think we don't need the
Okay,
review. Okay, one down. One down, 6 to go.
Yes, it is.
At least until
Oh, no.
recently. Fast forward to the year 2012, and we see a different iconic franchise receiving its own prequel trilogy. The Hobbit,
Okay, so these two are not comparable in any way. Just
Yeah.
You being comparable.
An Unexpected Journey was quite possibly my most anticipated film ever, serving as an adaptation of
yeah. I was really I was actually around for that. Like that was I loved that, man. That was so awesome to come and watch.
Yeah.
I actually like the Battle of the Five Armies. I really like that movie. I didn't see the other two Hobbit
Ahead of
movies
yourself.
before that, so I need to catch up.
Yeah, I watched all 3 of them. For me, this the second Hobbit movie kind of looked like a downgrade in quality, especially with the lighting, everything. It looks so bleak or something, some kind of weird filter on it.
It was probably a filter because I can't imagine the visual effects actually getting worse.
Yeah.
But yes, let's see what he says about it.
of one of my favorite books and a prequel to one of my favorite movies. Alas, like those moviegoers,
Okay, I actually have the Hobbit book, but I haven't read that one. I actually have.
Well, I saw the cartoon before I saw the movie.
I saw the cartoon after the movie.
I thought the cartoon was.
Oh yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah, it was made in the 70s, but it's excellent.
Yeah.
Who cares if you don't like The Hobbit? It was a series about wizards made for children.
Ah, that's right. Yeah,
They're not even space wizards.
it's a bunch of wizards made for children. It's a series for children.
Lord of the Rings should be simple. We just saw Frodo, something like a regular guy.
Lord of the Rings should be simple.
We
Okay,
just saw
let's
Frodo walk like a ring.
move
I've
on.
only seen the first. I've only
Let's
seen
get
the
going.
first
Let's get
one.
going. Let's get
those
going.
moviegoers in 1999, I left the theater disappointed. And in
What? Why the
Uh,
fuck would you come disappointed out of the first movie?
What if he just didn't like it, man?
No. Look, I don't care what anyone says, okay? First movie is almost pitch perfect. Like it's
Yeah.
Okay, but what if he just doesn't like it?
No,
It's
I
the-
mean, like, commonly, a lot of people, like, the second movie was disappointing because it was like, oh, we have to be 3 movies. Oh, great. Like,
But it's
I-
like his opinion, man.
like I had waited a whole year to see the second movie. Second
Yeah.
one was cool, but it went on for, like, ever, and it just felt like, it felt like it should have been the end, like, it should have just been 2 movies. But then he was forced to make a third movie, all for just a payoff of like the second one. And I never saw the third one in theaters because the ending of the second one was so annoying. Like it was just, what have we done? Oh, awesome! Let's wait another year for this.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone having a problem with the first one.
But-
I thought the first one was okay.
Okay.
No, it was just the spectacle wowed me when I was a little child. I
In the
distinctly
preceding-
remember like going to the Hobbit. when I was-
The Hobbit movies are not bad, guys. Like I don't know if anyone thinks that here, but they're not.
I have
All
not
right.
seen the Hobbit movie.
Okay. Replica. Okay. In the Anomalies server, the Writing Works channel, I had a discussion with Sven and Templar of the Hobbit movie. So they said that those movies were bad because I don't know why.
Well, it's like it's definitely not a case like the prequels where they're calling masterpieces bad movies, but like it's definitely they are definitely not bad. Like we're talking like 8, 7 out of 10 here, like that sort of thing. Which I suppose is a crying shame compared to the 50 out of 10s that were the other ones.
All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
Yes.
In weeks, months, and years, that disappointment grew worse and worse. Now, let's fast forward one more time to 2018, the year the Harry Potter spin-off, Fantastic
Okay, so this is even less comparable to the other two.
Be somewhere to find them, transformed into a full
Did you see this movie, Airborne?
I saw it.
Okay, good.
full-blown prequel with The Crimes of Grindelwald. And the fans rioted as they saw a movie that not only wasn't very good, but actively made decisions that undermined the original films and books they had grown up with, just like the Hobbit trilogy.
Well,
Sounds familiar.
yeah.
Did to the Lord
The Crimes of Grindelwald is the last Jedi of Harry Potter. It's a fucking
Okay.
shit movie.
Really?
I would not because it's a prequel. The prequel version, it's just a shit fucking movie. It's garbage.
The reason I ask is because I've never seen it. I've never seen the Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever.
It is one of the most terrible movies I have ever seen. It is shit.
Well, in that case, it must be worth a watch because consume and all that.
Hey, I see. No matter what you say, I watch.
It has some parts where it's like so bad it's good, but most of it's just like so bad. It breaks
no matter what
it breaks the lore. The characters are nonsensical. The plot is insane. The humor is crazy. The characters are just stupid, as I said before, and blatant. The story does not call people out for doing terrible things. And it destroys and it completely like screws with the original 7 Harry Potter movies. But none of that has to do with it being a prequel.
Okay. So essentially, it being a prequel is its least concern.
Sure, you could say that. I mean, besides, if we want to talk about like content that comes after Harry Potter, The Cursed Child, which was not as bad as Crimes of Grindelwald, but still pretty bad. Although it only got a book and a play. Like sequels can be just as bad and damaging. Like this isn't a really a problem.
Like like this video mostly seems to exist because of the Star Wars prequels and only because of the Star Wars prequels. Like that's why I wanted to cover it.
I mean, like, related media definitely showed how the prequels could have been as damaging as the sequels.
But I mean, like, it also goes to show, like, that how, you can't come to a conclusion like this without, like, really thinking that, without also, like, hating the Star Wars prequels. Because, like, nobody would say this. Like, do you think after The Last Jedi, people unironically say that expectation subversion is an art that is dead? I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe he kind of
dead art.
It's just the name has been tainted now. I Last Jedi.
Yeah. It's
like there are
title.
still products that do it right. It's just not. It's just no longer. It's no longer the same as it was. It's not like.
Well, I mean, regardless, you shouldn't blame some concept for a retarded moron just utterly raping it. Like,
obviously.
So, like,
almost fucking OT
prequels. This guy's saying prequels are automatically bad. It just goes to show his lack of understanding on the subject. Like, sure, prequels are harder to make, but that kind of exposes that.
Yeah,
writers are not that great.
The Rings, just like the Star Wars prequels did to Star Wars.
Creep.
Yeah, that's bad taste.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's
I think it's finally time to face the facts.
Bull.
A poorly aged statement. What?
Yeah,
a poorly aging statement.
That is already dead.
I think people are beginning to realize that like the prequels that got all the hate that they were given back in the days before shit like the Star Wars sequels aren't nearly as bad as people once thought. Like this is a video you should have made in 2015, not 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
hell, even in like back in fucking 2010 or something.
This is absolutely terrible timing.
Beyondly. It's like it came from a cryo sleep. Like this video was meant for 2015,
It's like
but
it's like he started drafting back after the final Hobbit movie came out. He went into cryo sleep, but then he woke up and he was like, "Prequels suck."
Yeah.
I mean,
Just froze itself in
They
carbonite,
are
and
almost
then it came out.
always a terrible, horrible, bad idea. Are you thinking about making a prequel to something? Stop. Don't. X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Thing, Insidious Chapter.
okay. Oh, all right.
I'm gonna level with him here. Most of the ideas that people have for prequels these days are like terrible, but that doesn't mean that everybody who ever had the idea of making a prequel has a bad idea.
Monsters.
Yeah, I mean,
It's I get like the proof by example thing. Like if just because the concept is like it's concept or execution of a concept, like since everybody's making bad prequels, that means prequels in themselves are bad. But that's a fallacy.
Yeah. That's a
Monsters-
retarded fallacy. A retarded logic beyond reasoning.
That's what a fallacy is.
Monsters University was not a bad prequel.
Monsters University was not that bad. It just wasn't. It wasn't better than Monsters.
It was mediocre for the first 2/3, but it had a really good ending.
Yeah.
I will say that. I will say that.
It's
I don't
an
know.
okay mo. I watched it some years ago.
Monsters Inc. is clearly the better film.
Yes.
But I don't think that Monsters University's problems come from it being a prequel.
Yeah, it just come from weird writing.
Yeah.
Yes. Mediocre writing.
3,
I
Monsters
thought it was a
U,
good
Prometheus and Alien Covenant, Solo.
Okay. Prometheus. Okay.
That's an
Can't comment
example.
on this.
That's actually a good example. I
Yeah.
won't argue with him. on that.
Prometheus
Like,
That's a
isn't
good example against all prequels being bad.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's even a busted clock is right twice a day, that kind of thing.
I did hear it was a pretty shitty film, but I didn't see it. So
Prometheus and Alien Covenant are pretty bad. Like they're kind of like Last Jedi in the sense that they're visually gorgeous, but narratively.
But they're made
horrible.
by they're made by the same creator who made the original Alien, Ridley Scott. So it's like technically like the prequel bad mixed with the sequel bad stuff combined.
It's
They
like,
put it in the Alien franchise.
I mean, it's his franchise, so we can do it as he pleases. He just did it what he pleases in a shit way.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he did what he wanted, but it still sucked.
Solo, Minions, Annabelle, Oz the Great and Powerful, and of course, Crimes of Grindelwald.
Okay. Has anyone also seen Oz the Great, whatever, the prequel?
No, I haven't.
Am I the only one, Replica? Have you? You probably haven't seen it, right?
What?
Wait. Let me back it.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
No, I've never seen it.
I think I did actually.
Yeah, me too. We both.
Is that the one where Johnny Depp is like he's like the man behind the curtain when he was young?
I don't know if it was Johnny Depp.
Well,
But he's right about the plot description.
Yeah, right. It was that movie was all right, I guess.
I haven't seen it in years.
What kind of stupid premise for a movie is that?
A prequel
It was a stupid premise, but they executed it well enough.
Oh,
okay. It's an interesting premise.
I mean, like the man behind the curtain is like some old scrumpy asshole. Like I don't really get why he would need a backstory, but what they did was pretty all right. Like it kind of showed how he. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Talk. Somebody was going to talk.
Who?
Lackey.
All right. Well, I mean,
Latvian?
I guess, in my opinion, the backstory for someone that actually originated in a girl's dream is not really that necessary. But that's just me.
Well, according to the story, like anyone who gets swept out by the tornado goes to like some dream world state thing, and that guy let's just call him Discount Johnny Depp. Discount Johnny Depp guy also went there, and when they went up into the balloon, he supposedly went back to the normal world, but he was there for like 60 years or something. So that's why he's there. Like it's a weird thing because it has like a story thing where he becomes less of a liar, but he is still a massive liar. So like I don't get it. It's a weird thing. Like I also wouldn't make a prequel to a 90-year-old movie. Well, it's not that old, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
It-
it's sort of a case of like whether you want to or whether you should.
81 years old.
I mean, like if anyone was like
Yeah.
wondering, like, oh yeah, he had like a love affair with the evil wicked witch. Wow.
Yeah, it's
all
like
right.
why?
All right.
Why is that a thing?
Oh yeah,
not-
what the
it's not that
fuck was that? What the
it's not
fuck
like
was
why
that?
I don't know. It's fine. Like they actually did a good job with it. It's just, was that like what? Why? Why now? Why not 10 years after that movie was made in 1930s? Like what?
Because because the
maybe
concept
because
of
they thought it
pre-
wasn't necessary.
Of course,
And now they
that's the
do.
point. That's the point. It wasn't necessary, but at
All
least
right.
it's a bad movie. So there's that.
All right, let's continue.
Yes.
Trilogy and the Star Wars prequels. Every single one of these
Ah,
has failed
Jesus
to live up to
fucking
its
Christ.
predecessor. Why? Because prequels are quite simply the worst. Okay,
How the
Not
fuck
anymore.
are they
For the
worse?
age statement.
He explains himself. Here, Matt.
hyperbole aside, of course not all prequels are bad. There are
No shit, bro. And at least he shows Revenge of the
Yeah.
Sith. He says there's some good.
a handful of good ones. There's Bumblebee, which is pretty good.
That is not
That's
a
not a
fucking prequel. It's a reboot. I'm going to fucking strangle someone if it's a prequel. Including the sound director.
But Latvian, it's a prequel because I said
It's the
so.
worst. Okay, hyperbole aside, of course not all prequels are bad. There are a handful of good ones. There's Bumblebee, which is pretty good. X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past.
Okay, I haven't seen that
The
one.
Godfather Part 2, which is half prequel, half sequel, and the new Planet of the Apes trilogy, though this has been somewhat reclassified as a reboot. I'd also
Yeah, kinda. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
I
say
actually
there's
do
been-
like the Planet of the Apes movies.
I have
like
not
the
seen them.
modern ones.
I think those are the first.
They're
one
really
they
good.
made.
Apes together
They're really
strong.
Apes together strong.
I mean, I thought the
I
idea.
recommend that you watch them.
I thought the idea that apes would somehow beat humanity a little stupid, but other than that, it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
We have
And-
I do recommend you watch it.
like, it's-
somewhat reclassified as a reboot. I'd
IDK,
also say
bruh,
there's
have
been
you seen the hood?
a resurgence of appreciation for the Star Wars prequels.
Oh, now he mentions them.
While they suffer many of the flaws common to prequels, they also added a ton of lore to Star Wars and definitely have a ton of stuff you can appreciate. And if you
He just
Wow,
contradicted
really?
himself. Oh,
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Hmm.
2 minutes, almost half 3 minutes, and he already contradicted himself.
look beyond the confines
Yeah.
of film, I'd point to The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, and Better Call Saul, not just as two amazing prequels, but two of the best TV shows.
Okay, what is a Better Call Saul prequel to? Breaking Bad or
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kinda confused on that as well.
Call Saul.
okay?
Is a prequel to.
I
Oh, he's
always
actually Google searching it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a prequel to Breaking Bad.
Oh, I was correct.
Okay.
You, aha!
like the main problem that I at least have with prequels is that like
Oh, the first search
actors-
result is how Better Call Saul broke the prequel curse. I guess you're wrong.
Yeah, there was
Censor,
never a
censor,
prequel curse.
There's nothing.
No, I'll disagree with that. I mean, not really prequel curse. But
I mean, like-
there is
Yeah.
an inherent burden and drawback with making prequels. But I don't think that means that prequels are bad. I just think it means that they will usually, not always, but usually be inferior to their source.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the
With
problem
the exception of the Star Wars prequels.
the problem that I see with
No.
shut up, everyone. The problem that I see, you're literally a clone from the prequels. So
No,
either
I
make-
mean, but like,
either make yourself a stormtrooper or
I
suck
don't
it
think
up.
that I don't think the
Hey,
prequels
hey,
are.
hey. Either make yourself a stormtrooper or suck it up.
So anyway, I don't think that the prequels are bad because I don't even think they're bad. I think they're amazing. It's not because that.
So anyway, the problem with prequels is that the actors can be the actors can.
And so what I was
Yeah.
saying.
We're not doing this salvage shit. We're not doing this salvage
The
shit.
actors,
All right. So
the actors can't represent the characters that they originally were.
okay, look.
You know,
The problem with
It's-
prequels is that, like, if you have actors playing roles, if you have older actors playing roles from when they were younger than a movie before that, like that creates a little bit of cognitive dissonance in the audience because, sometimes makeup teams could fix that shit. I
yeah.
guess what kind of helps the prequels is that they could just cast different actors because they were younger.
I think also the other thing is like
You don't have any fingerprint.
I think like one of the problems is that like ER brings it up and he doesn't exactly like bring it up correctly. But essentially he says that basically brings up the idea that the more that you have of something, the less value it can accrue or acquire. And essentially says that like the more that you use the elements from the original source material, the less value they will have. And
Which is both-
but that's not just a problem with prequels, it's a problem with sequels as well. Which is the idea that the more of something that you use, the less it will be worth, you know?
Well, my natural
You can only execute something so many times before it becomes stale. Now, he was wrong with what he criticized. The prequels don't fall into this category, but he still had the right idea.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If a movie adds new stuff, then there's new.
Obviously, the prequels are almost entirely different from the original trilogy, so it falls out of that. But with the Star Wars sequels, it's just this. It's the more they fell into the pitfall of just being the same thing as the original trilogy, but worse. It's bad enough that they ripped a lot of elements from it, but they just completely copied them. They're not just.
I can say they definitely copied A New Hope.
They're not just a nostalgia pandering for the OT. It is the OT, and so not only did they lose the elements, they didn't just lose the value. They didn't just lose the value of the elements from the OT. They completely eradicated them.
There's actually another layer to that. They also slightly modified them and made them infinitely worse. Like, I hate the First Order Stormtroopers. They're so ugly.
Well, I mean, I personally think that they look nice, but only if they were competent. Maybe they would actually, look better as some sort of infantry.
Well, the thing is,
but they kill some villagers at the beginning of Force Awakens, so they're good.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So that means they're a competent military now.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing is that, like, Stormtroopers' helmets vaguely look like gas masks. Like they look like they have stuff where the air goes through and shit. And there is nothing like that on the First Order. Like things like where does the air come through? Like where? What is connected down there? Like they removed all the details and made it look more slick and like stylish.
It kind of.
To be fair, the clone trooper helmets during the beginning of the Clone Wars didn't really have that either. Or at least it didn't have that design until the very end of the Clone Wars, as we see in Revenge of the Sith. We're on the Battle of Kashyyyk.
I suppose these things to like the left and the right are the breathing things, but still, I don't know.
They're very tiny.
It just looks like it wants to be cool, whereas the
What the
storm.
fuck is that vent on the bottom of it? Does it look like some sort of like cigarette?
No,
Looks like a cigarette.
No, it's some kind of where you put some kind of breathing tube in it.
Maybe like the clone helmets are like pressurized. Or not the clone helmets. The clone helmets are pressurized. Like you press that button down. Pressurized like the clone trooper helmets and the
This is like if I'm
See, like
the
Stormtrooper
clone
helmets, like, as
you
the
keep
clone trooper
trying to
helmets.
tell the same story over and over again.
Like not even just the same story. Like it's even why does he keep getting kicked out?
Nothing.
It was
Like,
just
it's not even just like the same story again. It's like just using elements from older things. Like if you don't
Man, can you please stop
if you don't
kicking me? I'm getting tired of that.
if you don't execute it properly, they just become worse, and their value can be entirely lost.
They become more unnatural.
All right, let's
because,
continue.
Scene, and I'll be addressing these exceptions a lot more later in the video. But with that being said,
Okay, one thing I also don't like about prequels is that they're numbered as if there were sequels. The only exception was Resident Evil 0, mainly because it has 0 in it.
Mm-hmm.
You said you wanted to move on.
said, even the best prequels often suffer from what many call prequelitis. The numerous drawbacks.
Prequelitis?
Rogue One's one of the best prequels.
Rogue One is not
Yeah,
the
Rogue One's
best
pretty
Star
good.
Wars prequel, but I still personally enjoy it. Like,
It's the best Disney Star Wars prequel.
There's only two.
It's the best Disney film in
Yeah.
terms of Star Wars.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the best Disney
Yeah.
Star Wars film by far. And I'm
By
pretty
a
sure
good
that's only
mile.
because that Kathleen Kennedy decided to give the directors some more leeway.
Oh no,
Yeah.
actually, Rogue One was completely screwed up by.
Yeah,
Kathleen
true.
Kennedy.
So this, okay.
And that,
We
like
need-
initially it was gonna be just like all Gareth. Like they was like, hey, do whatever you want. And so like 50% of the film is like a breath of fresh air, and then they reshot the other 50% into
Okay.
like they
okay.
almost ruined the film essentially.
Okay, we need to find. Disney really needs to release the director.
Garrett cut.
The Gareth Edwards cut.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Let's
Why
make
are
a
there
new-
so many
Yeah.
cuts?
Release the Gareth cut.
Why are there so many
Release the
cuts?
Gareth Edwards cut.
Honestly, I think Rogue One like deserves more time in the spotlight, like both for its flaws and successes. Because people whenever they talk about Rogue One, they're just like, "Oh yeah, it was the best one." And they move on.
That
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, but like,
it was best Disney
despite
movie.
all its setbacks,
Look,
despite all of its setbacks,
It
it still came out as the best.
oh look, Airborne.
Yeah.
If I could say anything, like that stupid female, she just
Stupid female.
like if you watch the trailer,
you mean Jyn Erso?
if you watch the trailer, you're like, oh, another Mary Sue, cool. I'm gonna not watch this one either. Like,
Though I,
that's-
though I
repel.
really like. Okay, I really like more like.
like
Surprisingly, she's not a Mare Sue. She's
I
actually-
like her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like-
can I tell my opinion?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
all right. I kind of like her more in the trailer because she seemed like she had more personality. I prefer over I rebel than saying basically jack shit. What does she say in the?
like I saw Pun Story Games video on the movie. It's It's not that great, but it's the best Disney got. There's all types of like I don't want to be like EFAP, but like there's all types of little tismy things in it, like stuff like for instance that they name crimes Jin Urso committed, and those are all crimes done by the Empire. Crime,
that
stuff like that, Just stuff like that could have probably taken like a few more seconds in the writers' room to fix, make it into the movie, which is just a little sad. But once again, like having like I don't know 25, 50, something like that % sense is staggeringly high for Disney. So yeah. I hope you enjoy your title as best Disney movie maker ever, Gareth Edwards. I mean, Star Wars Disney movie maker.
Sure, you may not have. Sure.
I still love that.
Clearly, you have not met Ryan Johnson.
I still love that he gets a fucking. I love that Gareth Edwards gets a cameo in The Last Jedi in one of the action scenes. One of the elements of the movie, he absolutely kicks Ryan's ass on. It's fucking ridiculous.
and then Ryan Johnson appears in.
Gareth kicks Ryan's ass in every single department.
Yeah, he's also
even
no.
visuals.
Gareth is looking at the guy who says so like you really wrote this line, Ryan. Like you actually wrote this.
And annoying tropes that almost every prequel has. Today, we're going to explore these tropes and whether it's possible to escape their confines to create something truly transcendent of what a prequel typically is. So,
short answer, yes, it's entirely possible and always has been.
Yeah, it's always has been since the very release of the Star Wars prequels.
It's been possible since movies were made.
The Star Wars prequels are not the only prequels that are excellent. There's I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure there are some.
The X-Men movies the X-Men movies, the X-Men prequels are really good. Well,
give me something that isn't like modern, like something that's like before the prequels, like 1990.
Godfather 2.
Okay, there you go.
Well, yeah, that is true. Godfather 2 is pretty good.
What the fuck is the guy? What a retard. Okay. All right, move on.
Let's get started with...
You already know how...
I'm actually excited for the Rise of Gru. Like, I can't wait to see that.
Really?
Like,
It
was a great movie.
It was fine.
Well, it was great compared to what I was expecting, because I went in that movie thinking it was going to be a trash fire. It was just going to be stupid Minion fan service, and it wasn't somehow. So
what movie?
It wasn't just that. Let me just say it. Minions. I like that movie.
I fucking hate that movie.
It was. I don't know.
I think it's an absolute travesty.
That's what I hear from everyone. Like, why?
Yeah, it's like Cars 2. It's like Cars 2. Why everyone's bitching about it?
Cars 2 is good too, yeah.
Cars 2
finally someone who agrees with me.
Cars 2 has good visuals and racing scenes.
But the story is
But
cool.
honestly, I never even liked Cars in the first place, so I didn't give a fuck about what happened.
Look, you replace James Bond with some random American trucker. Like, that's gold. That's gold.
Yes, but like they just don't believe he's the whole gag is they don't believe he's a spy. It's a top secret like mission.
Okay,
These spies are just such fucking idiots, and we're supposed to take this shit seriously.
All right.
Can we continue?
Like if the whole movie was I'm gonna. The whole movie.
It's funny,
no.
It's funny.
The whole movie was just like a.
It's
the
funny.
Whole movie,
You cannot deny that
the whole movie.
Let's move on with the video.
If the whole movie was just a tongue in cheek comedy, then I would be fine with it. But it's not.
But that is the whole movie, though.
No, it's not. There's like serious moments we're supposed to take.
Yeah, like there are in the first Cars and in any child's movie.
Okay.
Then it shouldn't be that way.
No, What? Do you
That's
think this movie's going to
absolutely
take themselves
asinine.
seriously?
The
to like
movie is completely atonal.
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Even if
Are
that
you
is true, that doesn't make it bad.
fucking done? Are you
Likes
fucking
to
done,
avoid
Airborne?
spoilers as much as
Didn't you
possible.
tell
There
me
are
that
plenty of
you
people who can just
whatever?
What?
Move on.
enjoy the journey of a film or a show, but if
I like that shot right there, the one where Jin's looking at the
Yeah,
hologram.
that was-
Okay,
I
moving
know
on.
how
Pretty good.
it ends, it can ruin the novelty of the experience for me. It's one reason I have a harder time getting into TV shows as opposed to movies. If I invest a ton of time into a show with a crappy ending, the whole thing doesn't really feel worth it. I think
I agree
Kinda
with that.
agree
But
with
what's your? I agree with that. But what's your point?
one of the biggest weaknesses that most prequels face is the fact that we already know how it's going to end. We knew from The Phantom Menace that this little kid was going to become Darth Vader. Obi-Wan and
Okay, but that's only
Why is that a
applicable-
problem?
That's only
We
applicable.
don't know how.
Okay,
We don't know how he's
One-
going to become it.
okay, but one, that's only applicable for people who saw the originals first. So anybody who didn't is going to have a fully authentic experience. And number two, why does it matter?
Airborne. People who grew up with the prequels don't exist because clearly nobody likes the prequels.
All right.
You're right. my
Oh
bad.
yeah, well of course,
Okay.
man. Nobody likes the prequels, bro.
I hate
Alright,
those
Like,
movies.
there are no 20-year-olds who like it. We're all 45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah, of
Well,
course, man. You're all 45.
What's
I
wrong?
We're like
remember when I
taking our Viagra as well, bro.
Yeah, I
I'm
remember when I
a
watched-
middle-aged
take
film
our,
critic.
like-
I'm a middle-aged film critic who thinks
I mean-
plot holes don't matter.
See,
Okay.
guys, here's what's happening. Okay, all of us are balding middle-aged old men. All right, we need to take fucking steroids in order to do this shit. Okay,
Balding does not
That's
come
how
with
it works.
aging.
What the fuck?
Okay,
Okay.
we're also
Saying
Yeah.
balding
watch
does not
that.
come with aging.
Okay, one thing. Okay. Here's my. So like a. I don't know. Here's my explanation of a prequel. No comparison to a prequel. It's like a. It's
Yeah.
like a yeah. It's like you know a destination, but you still want to have fun getting to it. Basically, it's a pre. Basically, it's a good pre.
I mean, like, one of my favorite aspects of Monsters University was like how we got to see the villain from the first movie, and we got to see. Well, I mean, like, obviously, it was a little like because like I'm already intercepting this. Like, it was done in a kind of like so that's what happened kind of way, but I mean, like, I do feel like to a degree we can understand why he hates those two specifically so much, you know, because it's like he got bullied in high school and shit, and you know, it I don't know, it just I like that element about prequels where we can get like a different perspective that we would have never gotten in like the original movie for like a villain or something like that. Like I don't know what I'm thinking
Yeah,
about.
true.
Like I can sense that there are. I don't know what movie I'm talking about, but there it's got to be somewhere. Like I'm sure there's at least one movie like that. You know, like for instance, like you know that evil son of a bitch in the first movie. You know why he's evil? Because the good guys killed his dad accidentally, something like that. You know, like stuff like that. I always like it's a little. I agree. It's a little like childish sometimes, but I feel like that's like if we're gonna be like that, like you know, you know, we already know what's gonna happen, so whatever. You know, like if we're gonna be like that, then
Yeah, that's kind of
I-
retarded.
There's no
That-
reason to rewatch a movie.
if we're gonna be like that, I could just say, well, it's interesting to see how he gets there.
Yeah.
So there you
survive.
go.
And this
Like,
nice
yeah,
Padme
like-
lady, yeah, she probably gonna die. We already know that
Any of
Bilbo
you-
makes it out
alright,
of the
how-
Hobbit fine. We know
how
that
many-
Dumbledore is gonna
how
be
many of you
Grindelwald.
thought-
We know that the human
How many of you thought that Padme was going to die?
I can't speak. My expectations were ruined by the internet.
If I had paid
To
a
be
lot more-
honest,
if I had paid a lot more attention, I probably should have saw it coming. But no, I was not expecting it. It completely blindsided me.
I wasn't expecting her to die the way that she died.
Like
No,
her
and,
death itself was unexpected. Like I probably should have seen her death like as something as it's happening.
Yep.
as something that
okay.
would have
It's
happened.
like
But
we know. It's like we know she will die, but we don't know how she will die.
I didn't even know that.
how,
was
when,
shocked.
where?
And it actually turned out to be pretty tragic when it actually, unfolded, when it took place.
Humans are going to lose the war for the Planet of the Apes. And we know all the Gelfling are going to die in Dark Crystal Age of
Wait, how the
Resistance.
fuck do we
because
know
we
they're gonna
know
lose?
the ending of the original story. And we know the ending of this story is the beginning of the one we've already watched. It can drain the proceedings of tension as
Gonna die before other Star Wars movies happen? Oh my god.
Well,
Moron.
Jesus, this is a very bad argument here.
This is
And one thing I kind of
subjective
disagree with
criticism.
Mueller on, when he did his unbridled rage review about Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yes, you can put your characters that that appear in previous movies in danger when it comes to the prequels. You can do that, all right?
Yeah, all right.
I mean, like, what if Han Solo in the movie had a dad, and like he was about to die, like for real, and his dad was like always an asshole to him, but I'm just making a random scenario, but then he did save him because he does ultimately care about him, and then just as that happened, he gets killed by some faggot. Like it's just like.
You could accomplish like narrative beats by putting characters who shouldn't die in danger.
And also, if somebody watches and doesn't know that guy lives, like say you have some guy who's never seen a Star Wars movie before, and he's like, "Well, there's a lot of movies here. Some of these are prequels, some of these are sequels. I'll watch them all in chronological order. So first, the Phantom Menace, then to Revenge of the Sith. Like obviously, that was close to, but like, and then
Solo.
Then I'm gonna go with Solo, and then Rogue One, and then Hell, and then more Hell, and Hell, and then Hell.
Wait, how are the original trilogies Hell? You completely screwed that up,
God.
Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Then Hella Awesome, and then Hella Awesome, and then Hella Awesome, and then Hell. Yeah, then just Hell.
And then dog shit, and then just more dog shit.
Oh yeah, I think.
What are you talking about? Episode 10 and 11 haven't come out yet.
I think Poop Dealer. I think Poop Dealer said it right.
Why do you guys have to rename that? God damn it!
Episode 7 is a copy of 4. Episode 8 is a copy of 5 and 6, and Episode 9 is just a copy of Hell.
No, because 5, 4, and 6 are actually good movies.
Oh yeah, you're right.
If they were a copy of them, then then they would also be good movies. Well, they would be.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they were like a direct,
like
if they
just put Episode 4 on screen.
Well, look, the reason why Mahler says it is because, well, I mean, I assume it's because the execution is that of like a third grader being like, "Ah, I'm gonna die!" Like if it was an actual movie, like if it was a good movie you cared about, then then you wouldn't have that attitude towards it. But it's like, oh, this movie is fucking terrible. Han Solo just got his gun because he took the scope and put it on the other thing and then threw it at him. Oh god, this is the worst thing of all time. Oh my god, Chewie's almost dead.
Yeah.
These guys don't die. What the fuck's wrong with you, terrible movie?
Yeah, well, I mean, like that was kind of my reaction, when I saw old guy, I'll just call him old guy, put a scope on his fucking gun.
I just thought of something hilarious. Imagine we see Solo, and then we go into episode 4, and then Greedo kills Han.
Greedo shot first.
No, not even that.
I think a good movie
We got like
would
a
be,
whole movie. We got a whole movie to establish someone who dies like real quick.
I think a funny movie
yeah.
would be like if like we saw it like the movie 1917, like how they like essentially filmed it all to make it look like it was done in one take.
What they do?
Like I want to see a movie about Greedo that's like done in one take, but it just ends with him walking into the bar and getting killed by Han.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that one. There was this one video that's like I don't know what it was. It was like Greedo, no, Han shot first or something. Except it was like Han shot first hardcore edition, and then Greedo just kept talking about all the evil things he does. Like he's like, I kill puppies. I rape children. Like just all types of crazy shit. Then he shoots at him for like for like a good 10 minutes or something. And you see his many blasts missing everything. And then he's like, I am out of battery for my gun. And he's like, you're going to shoot me, aren't you, Han Solo? And then Han Solo gets up and just leaves him there.
He's like, you're not even worth the time, dude. Come on. You're not even a threat.
Question,
Stop trying
guys.
to shoot at me.
Question, guys. What do you think of when you think if the Solo should get a sequel?
I
No,
do not care.
no, it should not at all.
I don't care.
No, it's like Mala said. That could be fun to the point. That could be retarded to the point of fun. Like that would be good. Can you imagine that? Like we get like a really shitty version of Duel of the Fates as like Han Solo. Like,
Han Solo
Solo
fights Darth Maul with a gun.
Han Solo is
Oh.
like on
Oh, God.
Han Solo is on Darth Maul's back.
No,
and he's, like,
He
repeatedly
shoots. No, he shoots his gun so fast it looks like a lightsaber. Just like as he just
Okay. Yeah, that would make
He just shoots it up in the air. Just go like.
yeah.
All right. Everybody get. Everybody.
Can you just imagine that?
Watch the next episode.
and like he's like fighting him with the gun saber, and just Darth Maul just
Okay.
like,
Oh, yeah.
what the fuck?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Everybody,
Okay.
everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Let's just do this. All right, we're like 4 minutes
Now,
in,
am I
and we've
saying
already
that
done
knowing
this.
the
Like,
ending of a story totally ruins any enjoyment that might be watched? It can drain the proceedings of tension as we already have watched the next episode. Now, am I saying that knowing the ending of a story totally
Okay, just make a prequel that doesn't do that. It's very easy.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
continue.
ruins any
Dickhead.
enjoyment that might be had in experiencing that story in its entirety? No. There's plenty of classic movies that I've always known the endings to because they're just common knowledge. But I still sat down to watch the whole movie.
Yeah, that has happened to me as well.
Yeah, same here.
Sort of.
yeah.
Okay.
Start.
Example. It's not a spoiler to know that a historical figure dies.
To finish to get the full experience. When I was a kid, I accidentally watched Star Wars movies completely out of order, but I still enjoyed all of them. And likewise, if a prequel is telling an interesting enough story, it will be enjoyable. For instance, the heartbreaking knowledge of how Charles and Eric's friendship will end in X-Men First Class gives the entire film an extra sense of tragedy and tension that might not have been there if we hadn't already seen the original X-Men movies. However, that being said, knowing the ending can also spoil things a little bit.
Okay, so what's your point? So
Yeah,
there is no problem.
last time I checked,
so there is no problem with prequels, just execution.
Okay.
Right. So here's the thing: the OT did not spoil what had happened to turn Anakin into Darth Vader. They didn't spoil any of that.
All
So
it spoiled is that it just would.
Okay.
But you don't watch movies to know the ending. You watch movies to know the entire story.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
I didn't
Okay,
watch
Ben.
Pirates. I didn't watch Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End because I just wanted to see Jack kill Davy Jones and save the day. I wanted to watch it because I was intrigued by the characters and the world.
Okay, Ben Shapiro, can you hear me?
And
Ben is really quiet. Like
well, that's
really.
because my mic is rather
Let me check his.
I thought it was because you were tired.
Okay, Ben Shapiro, do you want to be part of this podcast, or you just want to be out of it? Do you have anything else to do?
Well, the thing is, like, this argument that like, he doesn't contradict himself by saying that, like, if we know the ending, it's not gonna be good. Then at the same time, then in the same breath saying, but we can know the ending and it will still be good.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, that's
he's trying to, like, he says again, you don't never like say an absolute statement like, but prequels are the worst or prequels freaking suck. If you're going to have shit like this in your video, like, oh yeah, it's actually not that much of a problem if you do it right.
I get where he's coming from. He's just got the wrong perspective. Like, prequels aren't the problem. It's bad execution that's the problem.
It's bad writing, and
I think that's always the problem.
It's bad writing and corporate greed.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, those kinds of factors didn't really play that much in the Star Wars prequels, or some prequels before now. But yeah,
but it certainly does in a lot of them.
Crystal Age of Resistance, one of the best prequels I've ever seen, I decided to go watch the original movie. And if you've seen the original movie, you know that the bad guys of the prequel series win in the end. The main character of the movie is the last Gelfling, and the main characters of the prequels are all the Gelfling. And that kind of ruins the experience of the show for me. I've gotten invested into all of these characters in this amazing world, but do I really want to keep watching if I know that they're all just gonna die horrible deaths? I don't really care if the bad guys lose in the original movie. It makes everything they're setting up now feel totally pointless. Which brings me to my next point.
Yeah, but that's what happened, though.
Right.
Like that is what happens. So if that
story doesn't interest you, then don't watch it.
All right, so
because
Half-Life,
it might interest other people.
Okay, so Half-Life 2.
Well,
Half-Life 2.
We should watch Titanic because we know the ending of Titanic.
One of the big things about Half-Life 2, and I hope you guys have played it.
Nope.
All right. Well, you haven't, but I'll just keep it. I'll just keep it simple. So in that game, there was a war that went on for, say, a good 10 or 7 years.
No, 7 hours. 7-hour
you
war.
fucking moron! Airborne hasn't played it.
Okay, sorry.
I'm keeping it vague for him. I'm sorry, Labian. So, fucking, you know what? I'll just server mute you. Or I mean, server definitely. Yeah, just okay. So in that game, there's like a war that goes on for 7 hours where humanity is defeated and like a group of aliens take over. It's called the 7-Hour War. Like, it's a really fascinating piece of like world building, and like as much as I was a little blind to see it, most of the game is based on that. You can see the aftermath, like they've sucked the oceans dry, they leave cities of humanity in states of disrepair, and they only care about these tiny little sectors where they keep prisoners, or well, let's just say the still living humans. They're called citizens, I guess, but they've got shit under control, you know. Like but they've been in control for 20 years. It just got a prequel, Half-Life Alyx. Now, Half-Life Alyx takes place 5 years before Half-Life 2. It's got all types of little different details and different enemies we haven't seen before in the previous one, which I suppose makes Half-Life 2 look a little bit worse by comparison. And I won't lie, like, the gameplay is definitely been improved a lot in Half-Life Alyx. So, but regardless, either way, if you're gonna tell me that they're the father of the main protagonist of Half-Life Alyx, he essentially dies like late in the game in episode 2, Half-Life 2, episode 2, the expansions. Like most of the game, or at least most of what I've played so far, is about finding him and saving him. Do you think I don't give a shit about saving him because I know he's going to die later? No. In fact, considering how he was a character I liked, I actually want to save him more because like there's this moment where they have like a fake out death for him, like and it's a game in VR, so you have to stretch out your hand. I stretched my hand out as much as possible to to catch him before he would fall because it was like, oh my god, it's like him. I can save him. It was like it's what he says here is very subjective, and it's only something that he, from his perspective, can actually like spout to have. Like this is like you don't know how people feel about something like this. Like you could. It's very short sighted to say that there's only one way to view it. I mean, I would love to see more about the 7 hour war, like it, but like it, like it's this is just like, I mean, most stories. No, most stories. Oh well, actually, yeah, I'm kind of done with Half-Life now.
Yeah.
Most stories, like they begin at like a very late stage in a world anyway, because most of the writers often skip towards the point where the good guys are like beginning to win and they can stop the bad guys. None of them are really interested in like showing how the bad guys won, which is why the prequels are such interesting movies because they show how they win. But like it, just to say that it's boring because you know what's gonna happen. Like, I mean, fuck me. Do you think you couldn't make like a million Halo games on the 50 or 60-year war that like between the Covenant and humanity that went on way before Halo 1 even happened? Like, I think you would. It's called Halo Wars.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a very stupid perspective. Like, I feel like this guy, he's onto the right track in the sense that these kinds of movies never seem to be that great. But like what he's forgetting is that sequels tend to be not so very great either. And that's because these kinds of movies, prequels, sequels, they just require a lot of work. But as we see today, making something original that is good is also kind of a challenge nowadays. So yeah, take it or leave it. It's a mess.
Okay, let's continue.
I know.
Point. Writing the
Nice to be a
sequels
boomer,
before you
that's
write the
cool.
prequels severely limits what you can do with said prequels. You can't be fully free with.
Yeah, well, there's the challenge in writing.
Yeah.
Like
Writing
not
should be simple. We just saw the original trilogy get written like a regular movie.
Yeah.
Again,
just
he
get
shows,
rid of everything and just get another movie.
Again, he shows that
We'll call it space conflict.
He shows
space.
We'll call it galactic skirmishes.
once again he.
Yes, galactic skirmishes. Did you see episode 1? The ghostly angry boy.
The ghostly angry boy.
The ghoulish delinquent.
The ghoulish delinquent, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then of course we
apparition
have the insurgents of the replicant.
What?
Yeah.
And,
because
and
what
was it? The vengeance of the scythe? The red saber people.
vengeance of the evil.
Justice of the bad guys.
Deviant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deviant, look up the movie Children of the Corn. I think
I do know.
I think the main picture of it is like a scythe take that scythe and replace it with Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or just get a picture of a scythe and call it Revenge of the Scythe.
Okay. All right, let's continue. Again, it shows the Bumblebee footage.
With your creativity without accidentally bumping up against the original films. If you introduce a bunch of important Jedi in the prequels, they all have to die before the original trilogy.
Yeah, but it works though.
So
Like,
what?
someone would have to be the original Jedi. Like, do you think Anakin's just talking to a bunch of fucking sock puppets? What were you expecting?
Yes.
10 Yodas that like all disappear into one Yoda?
You're left to
Like,
wonder why on earth they wouldn't show up to help fight the Empire. Many prequels, such as the TV show Gotham, have to bend over backwards and backtrack in order to prevent their story from ending
These are
too
not
quickly.
flaws. These are just things that have to happen because it's a prequel. Like that's where the challenge.
Oh,
That's where the
no.
talent comes in. That's where the whatever comes in.
Movies should be simple. We just saw.
Shut the
Oh
fuck
my
up.
The
god.
beginning
should
of the
be
story,
simple.
it's a prequel. And if you introduce, say, a secret sibling for Dumbledore, now everyone is left to wonder why Dumbledore has two secret siblings and how this guy never came up in the...
Yeah, what's up with that? Fantastic.
Whoa, that guy's supposed to be Dumbledore.
No, that's a guy named Grindelwald.
Oh,
That's the guy that had sex with that's the guy that had sex with Dumbledore back when he was younger.
Oh my god. Why
Boy.
the...
Oh, God, what the fuck?
J.K.
What the
Rowling,
fuck?
just... Okay. J.K. Rowling, just fucking stop with your gay bullshit.
wait, he's gay?
Oh,
Yeah,
Stop being a
Dumbledore's
turd.
gay.
J.K. just makes every character in her books gay
You hear about
now.
all of this, Replica?
What?
You
What?
hear about this? Dumbledore and this guy are gay. Hermione is black.
Even though she
Even
was
though-
white
even
in
though
the
there
Oh,
book.
that's right. That's
Even
right.
though
I forgot
there is-
she was black.
Even though there is damning evidence in the book and movie that she's white.
Wait, why is she black? She's white in the
Yeah, man,
books.
she's a true soul wizard. Tell you right
she's
now, man.
white. She's white. I mean, she's white in the movies.
Dobby the elf has a huge dong.
What?
Oh, please fucking delete me.
Slongus!
I am disinterested, and we will now move on with the video.
in the entirety
Wait.
of Harry Potter. Most prequels I have seen are filled to the brim with all sorts of contradictions, questions, inconsistencies,
None of these are contradictions you just mentioned.
and accidental plot.
The thing with Fantastic
I hate
Beasts is that-
contradictions. I think they're the worst.
Well, one of
not
these movies is like way
but
better.
also like contrivances. Like the one that he mentioned with Fantastic Beasts is absolutely a contrivance.
Well, one of these movies is like way worse than the other one. So that
Yeah.
Like the fact that
And again, this is just bad writing, not prequelitis.
Hey, is that the black, one of the black guys from Predator? Replica film.
Predator. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is. He's
Sorts of
actually one of the few
contradictions,
black guys
questions,
I actually know the name of.
inconsistencies
that's
and
Mac.
accidental plot holes. Like the fact that Bolivar Trask looks like this in X-Men The Last Stand, and then looks like this in Days of Future Past. Or like how
Uh-oh.
technology
Whoa, who
Wait
are we
a
focusing
minute.
on?
Wait,
Yeah, that's the
Wait.
guy from. That's indeed the guy from. That's the guy from Predator. Yeah.
Okay.
Last Stand,
Yeah.
and then looks like this in Days of Future Past. Or like how technology seems to age backwards between Prometheus and
okay, stop. I need to explain this more. The reason why Prometheus has better technology is because it was a $3 billion funded project. That's what the technology looks for. When you look at the ship like Nostromo, it's a fucking mining ship. It isn't that good of a quality as Prometheus.
Oh, that's where they're also shit. Oh,
alien.
that's.
Or why Wonder Woman shows up and saves the world in World War One, and then sits the rest of history out before she decides to just show up again in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, the third act of Wonder Woman is pretty bad.
Yeah, it just
The
rips.
first two acts are like really good.
It just rips off a
Whammon.
little bit of Captain America, the first Avenger.
Like,
Women.
Airborne, you just hate women, bro. You just hate women, Airborne. Like, you need to stop being a misogynist.
Airborne, you hate
don't
the
you-
women.
Hey, don't forget, Airborne doesn't know what women is.
Oh yes.
That's right. You don't even know what a woman is, do you?
He's
Yeah,
a test
fucking
tube baby. He does.
sexist pig.
He doesn't. He doesn't even have a mom.
You
Suddenly, I feel very
he
bad.
doesn't even have a mother.
Cameron
I mean,
Owens is
I'm
my
a clone
mom.
of a real human
Isaac
being.
Windu. Isaac Windu. Isaac Windu.
What the?
Now that's real expectations.
Oh my God.
right there.
Now this is
Okay, all right. Let's move on. Let's move on with this. Let's move on.
Or the fact that Bumblebee drives off to join the Autobots at the end of Bumblebee, even though they crash land to Earth for the first
Yeah, it's a reboot.
time
It's a
some
reboot.
20 years later in the original Transformers movie. Or why Legolas looks older in The Hobbit, even though it takes place 60 years before.
That's just.
I botched that up to bad makeup design.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
For
It's
the
just
Lord
a
of the
nip.
Rings. Or
It's
how James McAvoy is supposed to look
Okay.
like Patrick.
Okay.
hold on.
Okay. Stop. Okay, if you bitch about that prequel has the actor looking older, it's just a fucking nitpick. It's not even a fucking problem.
Oh, it's definitely a nitpick. Like for what it's worth, Orlando Bloom plays this role really hard.
Orlando Bloom is man.
Mom, shut up, please. Yeah, she really likes Orlando Bloom.
What happened to the good general?
Wait, has she seen him in Pirates of the Caribbean?
Heb jij Orlando Bloom gezien in Pirates of the Caribbean? No, because she thought it was a stupid movie.
You ask your mom? Nah.
No, she's just here now for some reason.
Later in the original Transformers movie. Or why Legolas
She thought that guy from Zorro was really weird.
looks older in The Hobbit, even
Johnny
though it takes
Depp.
place 60 years before
Okay.
The
Love
Lord
Johnny
of the
Depp,
Rings.
but the
Or how
role's
James
stupid.
McAvoy is supposed to look like Patrick Stewart in 10 years between Dark Phoenix and the first X-Men movie. In
Okay, that's just a nitpick. Well,
fact, these limitations are one of the reasons the
Mom,
new
I'll
Planet of the
shoot
Apes
them
trilogy is technically a reboot and not a prequel. They play
Okay.
a little fast and loose with the timeline and decide to exonerate themselves from having to deal with the constraints of staying loyal to the original canon. But who cares about plot holes? And inconsistencies? I can live with those so long as the movie is actually good.
What?
I feel like you
Right,
should have
so
said I
you're
can live with,
lumping-
like a handful.
Wait a
Instead
minute.
of
But the movie, if it has plot holes and inconsistencies, can be bad if it has enough of them.
Does this guy like The Last Jedi? I want to know.
Well, I mean, he did mention that he liked all the Star Wars.
I can ignore the plot holes in the Last Jedi because the movie's good.
Ben.
Yes, I can ignore the fact. that Kylo is a Darth Vader. Just complete ripoff. As long as the movie is good. Except the movie wasn't good. Complete garbage.
I can
Deviant.
ignore that the movie
Yes.
breaks the lore.
Could you check it if he likes The Last Jedi?
Let me just. Okay.
Is he the guy that made that homogenization of blockbusters?
No, we don't actually have Ben Shapiro on the show, Mom.
What do you mean?
Stop asking questions.
Hey, Ben Shapiro. Ben.
By the way, you
Ben.
should probably
I want you to
purchase
say the
gold.
line.
And when you do, you should go to birchgold.com and tell them they sent me. Use this promo code birchgold/Ben Shapiro. Okay, to get 24.
Wait,
I
hold
do
on,
the
hold on,
impressive
hold on,
from Ben
hold on.
Shapiro.
Say the line.
The idea and
Say
the
the
idea
line. Say the line.
facts don't care about your feelings.
No. Yeah, there you go. That's my boy.
I feel like he should not be the only one to say that. Like that's pretty much something that anyone with a brain should say.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
let's get-
in his homogenization of Blockbuster's video, he thinks that the prequels are worse than the sequels. He also says that the
That is so funny.
Fucking kill me!
but he
Kill
also
me
says
right
but he also
now.
says that the sequels feel like
Yeah,
washed
yeah.
up.
Someone just fucking.
He also says that the sequels
Surrounded?
feel like washed up products meant to make
Kind of
quick
been
buck
Cthulhu,
rather
say?
than actual movies, and he would rather have the prequels exist than the sequels.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he says that the prequels feel justified in their existence, that the sequels just feel like products.
All right,
Not
I want to
actual films.
All right, I want to strangle him.
Then how the fuck do you think the prequels are still worse than the?
Who knows?
Ugh. Oh.
That makes no fucking sense, man. He contradicted himself right there. Like
Yeah,
he thinks
I
the
hate-
prequels are worse, yet he wants the prequels over the sequels, even though he thinks the sequels
Not-
are better.
not-
Dude,
not
make
that
up
he
your
wants-
fucking mind.
Not that
It's
he
a
wants
pre-
to like
prequel.
watch
thing.
the prequels over the sequels, but like
It's a
yeah,
pre-
he's a
Guys, it's a prequel hater. He's like, yeah, they're kind of good because the sequels expose my narrative for being retarded. But I'll never say they're actually like good.
Besides that, like bit of hypocrisy, his homogenization of Blockbuster's videos is actually pretty good.
Wow,
Wait,
one video the
wait.
guy made was good. Cool.
Okay, what?
I haven't seen anything else. Oh, he actually made a film fix for the Star Wars sequels. Interesting.
All right. What
But it
are you
was-
talking? Okay, what are you talking about there, Moy? Are you talking about the Blockbuster Buster?
No, it's called the homogenization of Blockbusters.
What the fuck is that?
Homogenization essentially
we might need
means
to take a look at that.
Essentially, it means it makes everything the same. It's actually a good video. It's not worth covering.
It sounds pretentious.
We might need to take a look at that. I don't know.
It's not pretentious at all. It's basically just saying all these old movies just feel like cash grabs nowadays, and they all feel really similar, which is not untrue at all.
Yeah, that's not untrue.
It's not this. It's not
I
like
will
he's
say
saying. And he's not saying like, "Oh, blockbusters are now inherently bad." He's now saying like, "This is a trend that I see happening."
Blockbusters
suggesting
are
that I
now
say that?
inherently bad.
Like he doesn't say shit like that. He's just like, I see a trend of blockbusters becoming boring and repetitive.
Do you think I say that, Airborne?
The Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker is
Yeah.
good.
All right,
And
let's go.
occasionally.
Okay. All of you, stop.
All right.
Okay.
Point is that in a prequel you are severely limiting yourself creatively, and nowhere more so than in the character department. If your prequels feature characters that are in the original films, your characters have to wind up in the exact spot they begin in the original movies. Sometimes this can provide a nice trajectory for a character arc. We see the adventurous Bilbo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings, so The Hobbit is about him becoming adventurous. However, this can backfire when a character has to land in a certain place for the original movies to make sense, and if you don't execute that arc effectively, you wind up with a mess on your hands.
So again, it's just execution and writing. It's nothing to do with them being prequels.
Yeah. Once again.
Like I'm sensing a pattern here.
Really
We
bad.
see the evil man
really
Anakin
bad
is in the
one.
original trilogy, so by the end of the prequels, he has to become that man. But the way the prequels are structured, most of that arc is smushed into the final film, causing
Yeah.
No, belated
yeah.
media
Oh
did that.
shit!
Oh
Later
god,
media
it's
did
bad.
that.
Yep. We have already covered how terrible this is of an argument against the
Oh
prequels.
my fucking god.
Many times.
Bullshit! We have 3 fucking
causing his arc
movies.
to feel
to
incredibly
understand
rushed.
this.
Anakin has one movie to go.
No, it is not incredibly rushed. It is not.
Well, I mean, him saying it's rushed
The
shows
reason
that
you
he
feel
doesn't.
that way is because there's. The only reason that you say that is because there's so much stuff going on in Revenge of the Sith. There's so many plot points to cover in Revenge of the Sith in terms of,
Bad.
Anakin's actual turn.
It's rushed. Shut up.
Yeah, it totally wasn't set up from episode 1.
Here.
No. Episode
Yeah.
1 is just Episode 1 is just the Qui-Gon Jinn anthology movie.
I wish you said, Airborne. You need to work on your like prequel height. You should have just said like 2 hour long special effects highlights reel.
What do you mean? Qui-Gon isn't the main character of that movie. There is none.
Who's the main character? I
Episode,
don't know. Do you?
episode 2 is just George Lucas like jerking off with digital technology.
Can you hear me?
Can we?
Yeah.
There's actual people that say that the Phantom Menace is a 2 hour long special effects highlights reel.
No, well, Confused
Fuck
Matthew.
those people. There you go.
Yeah, confused
Confused-
retard said that. Yeah,
Yeah, he fucking said that.
I will
Okay.
never call him confused Matthew. Being confused implies he actually knows something.
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace is the most disappointing 2 hour special effects highlight reel since my son.
All right, question. All right. Here's my song. Here's my rework of the song. From Confused Matthew's intro. His words won't tell. Okay. I won't sing it now.
Don't sing it. It's way
Wow,
too
he
crazy.
gave up quick.
Do you want me to sing it or not?
Yes.
The Santa Tower stuff.
No, that's
All right.
no.
All right.
Please do
All right.
not sing it.
Go from being a Jedi
Ah,
to an
come
evil
on.
Sith, and it just feels a little sloppy. The Clone Wars cartoons
Here's
help make
Shut
this
up.
arc more gradual, but if you haven't seen those, Anakin
Oh fuck! Again, another TCW.
Fucking argument.
Sequels.
Oh, wait, the Clone Wars make good.
The prequels.
As the number one fan of Star Wars: The Clone Wars on the planet, I can tell you that's retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is by far the most retarded argument I've ever heard.
I've
The fucking Clone Wars saved the prequels.
Yep.
I
The
originally
prequels are fine
planned.
on their own merit.
I have
also
like,
is
I have
that,
like an hour and 10-minute script somewhere, like explaining the objective merits of the Clone Wars. And I can tell you, like, this is stupid. This is absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
I mean, what
Anakin's
it
arc
also
feels sped up to accommodate where he's supposed to be in the original trilogy. Alternatively, many prequels don't seem to know how to get the main character to the spot where they are at the beginning of the original, and therefore give the same arc twice. Solo is a good example of this. At the beginning of A New Hope, Han is a selfish butthole who's gradually softened and learns to care about something bigger than himself. But in Solo, they can't just have him be a selfish jerk for the whole movie. So
Why not?
I kind of agree with this. I kind of
Oh
agree.
my god,
with
you
this.
fucking retard. You can make him become an asshole.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually would have been really
That's-
fucking
Yeah,
good.
like
Like, what the?
At
Just-
the end, like Kira leaves him, but that's at the very end. What if, like, at the end of like the first act, Kira betrays him, and we just never see her again?
What
Like,
if?
now-
What if?
like, now
What if
now
we start?
now he has to weigh that. Like, he's like, oh, well, the woman who I loved left me for some random crime lord. I
what-
guess
what
I
if
sure
we-
should just like stop trusting people.
Like, what if Han Solo wants to be friends with everyone and wants to be good, but then he gets fucked over again and again and again, and then he doesn't like. What if he believes in the Force and that he no longer because everything just keeps going shit for him, and he learns that the only
I think that seems like what Lord and Miller were going for with their cut of Solo.
and like
Yeah.
and like he realized the only way to survive in life is to be hard, and that's why he becomes friend with Chewie. And like Chewie is not just becoming friends with him because he's strong, but because in a way Chewie's also kind of like a guy who gets fucked over. Like say that he is packed.
I still kind
Wow.
of find it funny that Ron Howard's daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard, did a better job with Star Wars than he did, even though she's far less experienced.
What do you mean?
Jesus.
She was the director of one of the episodes of The Mandalorian. Bryce Dallas Howard. Not all that great. It was just like it was decent, but a lot better than Solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do? They make him an altruistic, pretty nice dude who in the end decides to do the right thing for something bigger than himself. It's the same arc as a new.
I hate Enfys Nest.
Yeah, why couldn't they make them into a Kalish warrior? Seriously, we need more Kalish representation.
What about if at the end Enfys Nest actually she's like, oh, I just want to help, and then she betrays both Crimson Dawn and Han Solo, and then Han Solo has to fight through both of them.
Her.
I heard
that would be great.
It would be really cool to have a shootout with Han and Chewie versus 10 people.
Yeah,
like a true space western.
I heard someone say once that when they watched it in the theater, when they realized it was just some girl behind the suit, one guy in the theater made an audible, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, that was kind of like my reaction too. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why do they have to
King
air
he's
the
a selfish
intelligence of their
jerk.
audience?
It contradicts the character we originally got and cheapens his character arc. It honestly would have been better if we had just not seen this origin story and just let our imaginations fill in his backstory, which.
Well, you
I
can
do
still
agree with that.
I mean, I agree with that, but that's an entirely subjective point.
you can still fill out how he becomes the asshole. The soul.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just
Solo takes place.
what if he was?
They make a story
only
about
way
how
you
Han
can-
Solo becomes somebody you shouldn't trust by being betrayed by everybody he ever trusted is something that could have been really powerful. But instead, we just got look at Han Solo and all of his cool accessories.
Yep.
Maybe
Right.
that's kind of why I want a Solo 2, just a little bit, because a story like that, where we get this Han actually becoming the asshole.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Disney
they
would
might
make
do that, but they
Han
had an
turn-
opportunity to do that.
No,
Yeah,
Disney would
they
turn
already
Han into this
kinda
really
blew it.
altruistic person who gives up everything he has for some random kid.
Nah, they just turn him into a deadbeat dad. See-
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. They did turn him into a deadbeat dad.
You know,
I like how ER describes Han Solo's life story as everybody abandoning him except for his furry sidekick, only for his son to shank him and get thrown off of a catwalk into the abyss.
Exactly. That is
Well,
the
at
best way to end Han Solo right there.
Well, at
is
least
just a big fuck you to anyone who liked it.
Well, at least Han Solo had a friend. Luke got to sit on an island for 30 years without anybody.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think it was 15 years.
Well, I mean, 15 years, 30 years.
No, well, he had the frog nun.
Nah, it was 15 seconds. Time just moves a lot faster on that planet.
Yeah, all of a sudden he got old.
I guess.
He had the frog nuns.
Yeah, that's right. He had the frog nips. He's able to fuck a sea cow thing.
Oh, that too. I mean,
so he had friends with them.
The caretakers as well. Probably had parties with them.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of people don't
Luke
realize.
Skywalker's been busy.
A lot of people don't.
It's not.
A lot of people don't realize just how accurate. A lot of people don't realize how accurate that's.
Luke Skywalker had to restore the entire population of the frog nuns, all with one little stare.
All right, well, I'm kicking you out. I know you're tired of it, but I'm sorry.
Oh, thank God.
Anyway, a lot of people don't realize just how accurate that statement about him being with those sea fucking sloth things. Because honestly, if you look at his life, that pretty much seems to be the only major thing he interacts with. It just, if you call that major, obviously. Fuck you, Ryan Johnson.
Luke just completely. It's not even like he can't go back. It would be interesting, if in The Force Awakens, people spoke of Luke Skywalker as if he was some sort of demon who damned the galaxy to hell. That's why he couldn't go back. He was framed for something. No, he made a mistake, and then he just like spent 15 years jacking off on his island.
Yeah,
Like it's
jacking
not
off
even,
and drinking some sea cow milk.
it's not even that he couldn't go back. He just chose not to.
Yeah, because he was a
He
lazy.
He just decided to
he
be,
left-
you know,
He left the
he
galaxy.
just decided to be,
galaxy
you know, like an old
burned.
fart. And
And then
yeah,
everybody forgives him at
he
the end.
decided to
because,
be, yeah,
Oh, he restored the hope.
Yeah, a lot of
look at,
people.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the only moments of world building in the entire sequel trilogy is Kajimi. Like we learned that the First Order, goes to planets and just extracts their infant population. And it's like that's Luke's fault. That's Luke's fault.
we kind of already
I mean, like,
knew that
That's not
from.
Luke's fault. Do you think Luke can just wave his hand
kinda-
and all the problems of the galaxy would go away?
He created
It's the
Kylo Ren.
Republic's fault. Yes, but
Yeah, that's right. And you know why he created Kylo Ren? Because he had a bad dream about him.
He had a
Because
bad
he
dream.
decided that because Kylo was acting a little bit emo, he decided to try and kill his own fucking nephew. And that is a big goddamn middle finger to everyone who liked Luke Skywalker.
And for people who say that, he stopped himself, why did he slowly draw his lightsaber from his hilt, ignite it, and then as soon as Ben ignited his own lightsaber in self-defense, he brought it down on him?
I like how they also.
No. See, that was a second flashback. Like the final flashback was just him igniting his lightsaber, and then
Yes,
Kylo
but,
finding out that he ignited it, and then he acted in self-defense.
Yeah, but then Luke still attacks him. Like he still strikes at Ben's lightsaber. He says, "Ben, no." Like the way that it's edited,
Yeah.
but the way that it's edited just makes it seem like Luke still wanted to